today they are saying, I will take away your car. Tomorrow they'll say, I'll take away your house. That is the point I'm making. Another question, electric cars. They're very cool, right?
Yeah.
They're very green, right? They're very green, right?
So you.
Ek minute.
So you.
Ek minute. I will. No. I'm opening the Pandora's box. Where does the electricity come from for electric cars?
Cool.
Wow. Is it really green?
I mean, that's not just us, by the way. Germany.
Is it
US,
really green?
It's away from
Now
your cities.
consider
It's
how much more coal you have to burn if entire Delhi NCR becomes electric. That is exactly my point. You are penalizing the common man because you cannot curb corruption at your RTOs. So the bottom line is, friends, my BS6 motorcycle, brand new, I had to make it pollute to get a pollution under control certificate.
Yeah.
What kind of rubbish? What is this? Now consider that if that was a diesel car, 7 साल मैंने घिसे, बैंक को पैसा दिया, रोड टैक्स दिया, सब कुछ दिया, फिर 3 साल में मेरा गाड़ी वो स्क्रैप हो जाएगा. I mean, why? I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you show me the scrappage policy?
I was about to get
Where
that.
is the scrappage policy? I want to read the scrappage policy, what it says, how you can scrap the damn car, why you should scrap the damn car.
And what do you get for scrap?
And what do you get for scrap? I mean, today you are saying diesel vehicles beyond 10 years old will not be allowed to ply in Delhi NCR. Why are you charging road tax for 15 years then? And for my car, which is a bloody diesel, why don't you give me my money back for those 5 years with interest?
I love how personal this is for you.
This is ridiculous. I don't have a diesel car, by the way. Both my cars are petrol. And both are BS6. Bloody nonsense.
At the time, the law was put in place as a pilot project for the rest of the country, right? It's one of the reasons.
I'm waiting for the time it happens in Bombay. Those Bawas na out there, Dikras, I'll tell you what they will come and do with their Fiats na. देखो अभी तुम लोग. ये हमारे से नहीं होने वाला.
Cyrus.
Yeah, guys, I'm with you. I'll fly down to Bombay, man. I'll be there with you. I'm telling you. इधर कुछ नहीं होने वाला. हाँ, बोलो.
Hello and welcome to Connecting Rod, a podcast brought to you by India Today Podcast and Auto Today, where we talk about everything automotive. Now, my name is Dipayan. I'm assistant editor at Auto Today, and we're talking today about the 15-year scrapping policy, how polluting vehicles really are in the grander scheme of things, and whether a repeal to this policy makes any sense. Now, 15-year policy means that most vehicles, petrol vehicles at least within the Delhi NCR, have to be scrapped at the end of 15 years. It's something that the country is looking at to grow and expand to more regions. Diesel vehicles, of course, have only a 10-year life. But joining me on this podcast is someone who is something of a stakeholder in the 15-year-old scrappage policy and stands to gain the most from it being repealed. Rahul Ghosh, associate editor at Auto Today and exclusive collector of junk. So, Rahul, why do you think junk should stay on the roads?
Dipayan, some man's junk is some man's jewelry. Let's start with that. And let me start by saying that the scrappage policy is not that simple. Okay. Basically, the idea is that any vehicle which is over 15 years old at this point of time, be it commercial, private, LMV, cars, bikes, scooters, mopeds,
Not government
trucks.
vehicles.
Yes, government vehicles also.
No.
Yeah.
So
right now they are in the bid of replacing them. So until they are replaced, they can ply. But the orders have already been put. In the Delhi NCR, things get even more, aggravated because suddenly the cops catch on, and recently the CM has announced that as of today, you cannot get fuel for a 15-year-old vehicle. So basically, you're just taking away everything. It's not about junk or jewelry. Okay, it is about the heritage of a country, right? Let's start with the point why these vehicles are important. The most important reason is that India, unlike the US or Europe, was never a country where cars were very common.
okay.
Cars were all part of, the rich and famous types. And then
Is that the case anymore? In the
not
context
anymore.
of
I'm
today?
talking about how it started.
Okay.
And then came in everyday cars. Like the ambassadors and the Fiats and all those things. And they started reaching.
Oh, we've gone way, way back to Heralds and Triumphs.
No, we've not gone to Heralds, but we are at Ambassador and Fiat, and they became part of the family. Okay, by part of the family, I mean that it was not a replacement world. It was a world of repair. Okay, so while growing up, we had an ambassador, and there was a 6-month waiting period minimum to get a car like that. So when we bought the car, that car used to be renovated every few years. The colors used to be changed, and the bodywork used to be
That's
done.
something I really miss. That
Right?
little
Everything-
bit of customization that we
Everything
had.
was done, and we drove the car. So after about 15 years of owning that car went through something called a CF. The car would be fully renovated. I still remember my car. It was essentially a white ambassador. But my dad at that point of time fell in love with
Teal
that car.
blue, no? You had said?
Yes. So, no, it was not teal blue actually. So, before the CF date was arriving, about 2-3 months, it was a big planning thing, that the car had to be repainted, engine needed to be done, the carbs needed to be set, and all the lights need to function. Everything needs to work normally, right, to get a CF, which is a certificate of fitness. So, the car went through a full paint job. It was, my God, gives me goosebumps even now. It was aquamarine blue with a feather white roof, chrome embellishments all around, black mud flaps.
And a reinforced parcel tray.
No. White wall tires with chrome wheel covers. It was absolutely gorgeous, that car. And I still remember that car coming back from all this, it was cleaned up and chrome was shining and all that. And it went for CF.
Yes.
And it passed with flying colors because it was as good as a brand new car. Now, that is what should happen. I'm not saying a gas guzzler or a black smoke belcher should be allowed to ply on the road. No,
Yeah.
I am absolutely against it.
Yeah.
But modern day cars, if you go back now, 15 years back from today, you will see cars like the 800. You will see cars like the Omnis and all. They will.
15 years ago, by the way, is 2010.
Yeah, I'm saying that time those were the cars who were ruling roost. Right? Even 15 years back, the 800 was still there.
Yeah.
And 800 was the best-selling car
Yeah.
of the country.
Yeah.
So was the Omni.
Yeah.
And so were the Santros and all. Can you imagine a company which entered India just like it looks like yesterday, they can't ply their cars anymore.
Yeah.
And tell me something. You challenge me
The
about
entire
it.
company.
I mean, Hyundai has been here for how long?
Okay. I mean, okay, cars
Hyundai
that they
came with
started
the
out
Santro,
with. Okay. Yeah.
right? The Santro you can't drive anymore in our country.
Yeah.
In Delhi NCR. I mean, what are you talking about?
All of them have.
2000,
Yeah.
in the year 2000, fuel injection came in, right? So you are saying fuel injected cars cannot be driven on Delhi roads. Why?
So, yeah, this is where it gets very interesting because do you know how much vehicular pollution in November, I think there was a study was done, contributes to the total pollution of Delhi?
See, last year when all of this was happening, I read a report. This is by IIT Delhi. And the report said 18%. 18% was the vehicular pollution.
20. No, sorry. The vehicular pollution was this same study, 13.8%.
I'm talking all inclusive.
23% was from stubble burning. And then if you add in industry, residentials and construction, you have another 14%. Okay. And grab 4 on that in this context. Now, again, you're saying entire vehicular pollution, that includes BS6 vehicles.
Yes.
Okay. Now you subtract the BS6 vehicles from this and you only keep the BS4 vehicles. Is it really that much of a factor? Isn't stubble burning 23%?
That is
That's both.
exactly my point. You are penalizing the common man because you cannot curb corruption at your RTOs. It is as simple as that. Today, friends, I need to explain what is a MOT first before we get into this debate. MOT basically is Ministry of Transport. It's not a test name. So it is a British way of doing things where MOT centers are spread all across the UK. Every car needs to go get a MOT certificate. It's a computerized process. There's a person there who's inspecting your car diligently. It's an expensive process. You go there, you get your car certified. If you get the certificate, you can drive the car. Right? Now, what if your car fails? If your car fails, the certificate which you have allows you to take your car back to your garage and get it mended and come back for another MOT.
Correct.
Correct? So you are making sure that your car is in fine running order to be able to use it in the UK.
Okay.
There are separate rules for cars depending on their age. Now, if you are a collector and you have a Ford Model T, that damn thing is not going to stop in the time in which a Ford Capri will be stopping. Right? Similarly, an Escort will stop faster. You know, the Mark 1 Escorts, they are big collectibles. So, every range of car has a separate certification. So much so that they have heritage number plates. So, if your car is over certain years old,
We
don't
did
need...
grapple with something very similar.
Yes,
recently.
there was everything. There was supposed to be a VA number, which is a vintage number. So, everything has been told to us. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you show me the scrappage policy?
I was about to get
Where
that.
is the scrappage policy? I want to read the scrappage policy, what it says, how you can scrap the damn car, why you should scrap the damn car.
And what do you get for scrapping?
And what do you get for scrapping?
So-
There, you get a huge discount on your car if you scrap it. So you are basically saying, like today,
No,
you might-
25% was promised
you
to
might-
us also.
No. You might have a WagonR. I might have a WagonR. Okay? WagonR is one of the most common cars in the country. Your WagonR for you can be junk. कि इसको लेके क्या करने का इसको कबाड़ में डालो. My WagonR can be precious to me.
Yeah.
I want to keep it for a lifetime. It's private property. Today they are saying, I will take away your car. Tomorrow they'll say, I'll take away your house.
No, but I think it was very funny when they started implementing it.
Exactly
So
my
you
point.
remember they were going to people's houses, they were picking cars off the road, and it lasted 3 days.
So-
you know why?
So what is stopping
Do
them?
you know why?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so very interesting. So they started.
They ran out of space probably.
They ran out of space. There was not enough, and this is 3 days.
And you know why the ruckus
And-
also happened? They picked up some big shots S-Class. An
From
S-Class.
from his house. From his house.
Yes, they picked up an S-Class. And S-Class is a top of the line vehicle. The 15-year-old S-Class is better than a lot of modern cars.
Yeah.
At that point of time, they couldn't do BS6 because you couldn't provide the fuel for that car. That car wouldn't run on the ghaslet which you would provide in India. So what are you talking about? I mean, how are you, penalizing cars? I mean, I know a friend who
So
sold
how would you do it? How would you structure?
Listen, I am not against, scrappage policy.
Correct.
What I want to say is that a vehicle, being a private property, should be allowed to pry on any place in the country, irrespective of age. What is most important is whether it complies to your existing norms or not. If a vehicle is way beyond, like I said, it might be a 1901 something, right? I mean, today you are saying a Concourse car from, one of these pebble beaches and all will be scrapped.
No. So I mean, those are trailer queens. That's what the
Hello,
entire point was.
excuse me, there are people driving around Ferrari Testarossas in India also.
That was the whole point of this, that these vehicles are so expensive and so rare
How
on the
does it
road. that
matter? How does it
they're
matter?
a fascinating
Today, a
part
person,
of the-
India is a developing country. I mean, no matter how much, whatever you say.
I think we've passed that point now.
We've passed that point. People are buying cars. People are enjoying their cars. And why are you taking away their cars? I mean, today you are saying diesel vehicles beyond 10 years old will not be allowed to ply in Delhi NCR. Why are you charging road tax for 15 years then? And for my car, which is a bloody diesel, why don't you give me my money back for those 5 years with interest?
I love how personal this is for him.
This is ridiculous. I don't have a diesel car, by the way. Both my cars are petrol. And both are BS6. Bloody nonsense. Yeah.
So, also, I mean, it opens up for people like you and me.
Okay, so coming back to your question. I'm sorry. I'll take over. The thing is, what I want is a legitimate way
Yeah.
of doing things. Not bulldozers. Right? You come, you tell the person.
Not a knee jerk, yeah.
Yes. You come and tell the person, listen, your car is old. If you give this car back, I'll give you 25% value of your car, whatever. Yes, when you buy a new car. So you come to a existing dealership, उसको अपना गाड़ी दो, वो अपना 25% कुछ तो एक set value देगा, and you sell the car. Now, You might be a fool like me and you decide not to sell that car. Fair enough. Put a tax. उसको लगाओ टैक्स. उसको बोलो कि अगर तुमको चलाने का है तो CF के लिए तुम्हें 5,000 रुपये देना पड़ेगा. तुम्हारा पर ईयर रोड टैक्स विल बी 10,000 रुपये. Then only those who really have something special for their car will keep the cars. Rest will be voluntary scrappage.
Does this only apply to PVs?
Yes.
It only applies to PVs.
As in, no.
Private vehicles.
No.
Does it apply to
trucks? No,
everything.
Trucks? Everything.
So
It
you're
applies to
saying
everything.
all the trucks that we see
That
moving
is the
in
scary
Delhi
bit. That is the scary bit. Can you imagine the number of ambulances? Will you be able to fulfill that demand of ambulances, of fire brigades, fire trucks? All of them are those old Tatas. If today I say, forget everything, police PCR vans. How many times have you seen police PCR vans which are brand new?
Yeah.
Those are those old Innovas, diesel.
Yeah.
Guaranteed 10 साल से पुराना है या तो जिप्सी. वो तो 15 साल छोड़ ही दो.
Serviced in their life.
Never serviced in their lives, belching out smoke. You do a Vahan Seva on them. They don't have PUC. They don't have insurance. They don't have any damn thing.
So you remember one of our photographers crashed into a municipal car.
Yeah,
and
of course.
then he went to claim insurance and they didn't have single paper.
I mean, today all these government vehicles have no documentation most of the time. I can challenge. And most of the time, what are we talking about paperwork? One day I was just sitting somewhere having chai on the side of the road. I was just time passing. So I opened Vahan Seva. There was a police car standing in front of me. And I said, okay, let's do some time pass.
A weapon.
And I was just doing a Vahan Seva. You know what that vehicle was registered as? A JCB. It was a bloody JCB.
Wait 1 second. You can't register a JCB. For what?
Of course you need registration for a JCB.
For what?
Of course, it's a motor vehicle.
To drive on the road?
Yes, of course. You need registration for every vehicle.
Wait 1 second. You can legally drive a JCB on the road?
Of course you can do that. On commercial plates.
Oh man, I'm getting one.
Come, let's go get...
Auto wala.
Yes. That's the biggest bumper you can get for Indian roads. Yeah. So that's my policy. I mean, I'm saying, and Dipan, I'll tell you something additional. You know what I have suddenly started noticing as a trend, especially with diesel cars. You'll see in Delhi, 7 से 8 साल के बाद, people stop maintaining their vehicles. So you will see a 7 to 8 year old vehicle belching out black smoke.
Yeah, because they're not
Because
good
they know 25,000 रुपए मिलेगा उसका. मैं क्यों करूँ उसको maintain?
Exactly, that's a very
If a car injector goes, a diesel injector goes, how much is the cost of a diesel injector?
Quite a bit.
How much? Give me a ballpark figure.
Like for an entry level vehicle, about 15 to 18,000.
So you need 4 of them?
Yeah.
That is more than what the value of your car is. Why should I change?
Yeah, exactly.
Because most of them are not bothered about it.
Yeah, this is a very good point that we are no longer rewarded for taking care of our vehicles beyond a certain point, which is...
Today we know someone, I'll not name him, you also know him. His relative sold a 15-year-old Honda City VTEC with 35,000 kilometers on the clock for 25,000 rupees. That car didn't have a scratch. The rear seat plastics was still not opened. After 15 years, it was never used. And that car was taken away for 25,000 bucks. That's extortion. That's daylight robbery, man.
And it's wasteful because it's not like the government is going to take it from you and then put it to use. They're going to scrap it. That is going to put a load on our infrastructure, the waste management.
Right.
It's just an endless... So it's not like we're, again... reusing. It's very difficult and it's very expensive to get all the materials out of the vehicle and then apply it. It will go to some waste user.
It is absolutely a waste. That's why I am saying that we are trying to become a replacement society rather than a repair society.
No, but I think that in general across the board has changed. I mean, I remember my fridge growing up. It was the same fridge that when I was born and when I left the house, it was the same fridge. And that was 20, 25 years.
No, I understand. But a fridge.
Since then, my family
says... A fridge and a car is different. A car is still an occasion in India. how many times have you done a phul mala when you buy a fridge or a AC?
Okay.
When you go and buy a car, even today, it's a celebration. Why? Because India is still in that position, whereas you are not swiping a card to buy a car. Getting a car is a plan. Getting a car even today, whether you are buying an Alto or whether you are buying a S-Class, it doesn't matter. You will see, and 80% of the cars in India are financed. So they are prized possessions. Today, my car has a 7-year loan on it. I have calculated that I need 7 years to take this loan out. But I can afford a car which is far more expensive, more than my budget. Now consider that if that was a diesel car, 7 साल मैंने घिसे, बैंक को पैसा दिया, रोड टैक्स दिया, सब कुछ दिया, फिर 3 साल में मेरा गाड़ी वो स्क्रैप हो जाएगा. I mean, why?
And on the other side, it's very strange actually. Our policymakers have this really weird. So on the other side of this, we are now allowed to import 50-year-old vehicles, by the way.
It's a scam.
Okay.
Because you get it in and you scrap it. You get the toll, whatever your import duties and all that. And you put it on the wall of your house. Cars are not something which you will put it inside. It's not scale
So wait,
model.
is this really the case? Is there no machinery in place once you've brought in this whatever 50-year-old vehicle?
Well, so first and foremost, you cannot do it in Delhi NCR.
Oh.
First and foremost, because
Okay.
your system will not take it. And the worst thing is, it's automatic deregistration. Right? My car, 15-year-old, one day, and next day my car is gone. Like it's like removing your birth certificate.
Yeah.
Or your Aadhaar card these days. I mean, today you wake up one day morning, oh, I'm 60 years old, I should die. Why? You might be, Dara Singh, fit and fine, but you are being taken to the scrap heap. नहीं तो 70 को तो मरना ही है. तेरा 60 साल हो गया. I mean, it's the same deal, yaar.
It is very.
It's
true.
murder.
Okay then.
It's bloody murder. Nothing else.
It is difficult. Yeah, it is a very difficult situation.
And I am talking from a car lover perspective. Okay. आज अगर मेरा गाड़ी चला गया, I had cars,
Yeah.
I had my lovely little Esteem, and just to give you guys a perspective.
No, but it's also the fact that the now the second hand market, because they're functioning in such small
Very good.
like margins, because they only have, like, if you bought a car, most likely you've sold it at 5 years. So
Correction. Dipayan, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
The second-hand market is the booster here.
Okay.
It is contrary to what you are saying.
Okay.
So today, car prices are on a rise. So today, if I bought a car for 5 lakh rupees, 5 years later, when I'm selling the same model, a next generation car or something like that will be costing 7 lakh rupees. So your resale value is on 7 lakh rupees, not 5 lakh rupees. So when you're going to sell the car, probably you'll ask for 5 lakh rupees for that car.
Yeah, but you have also a very small window to sell it, right? If you've driven your car for 7 years.
That's for diesel. That's for diesel, not for petrol. Petrol is 15 years.
Okay.
So the general tendency of keeping a car is 5 years.
Yeah.
कि 5 साल का लोन होगा, जैसे लोन खत्म हुआ बेच दो, दूसरा गाड़ी खरीदो. So there it has not affected.
So the prices stay up.
Prices are staying up. The people who are benefiting out of this, dealers, what they are doing is, they're coming to you. You have an 80-year-old Innova, done 80,000 kilometers, immaculate condition, no tailpipe emission, nothing. Absolutely brilliant. He'll come to you, sir, गाड़ी तो स्क्रैप होने वाली. हाँ, मैं क्या करूँ? हाँ, मैं आपको 5 लाख रुपए देता हूँ ना. 5 lakh rupees for a 80-year-old Innova done 70,000-80,000 kilometers. That's not even run-in for an Innova engine. You also know.
Yeah.
And most you guys will also know what an Innova is. It's a Toyota Innova MPV. Generally does 5 lakh kilometers before it needs any service or any major overhauling. So car like that, they'll come, they'll give you 5 lakh rupees. Now you're thinking, what the hell is he going to do with 5 lakh rupees? Like,
it's his loss.
It's his loss. Oh, poor guy, नहीं ठीक है, उसको दे दो.
वो HP में रजिस्ट्रेशन करके
कुछ नहीं करेगा. वो आपसे फॉर्म 28 पे साइन कराएगा. फॉर्म 28 is the page for NOC, which is no objection certificate from the RTO. वो सारे गाड़ियाँ, they are going to all over the country. No, not Himachal. Anywhere. You can take it anywhere. वहाँ पर जाके वो 10 लाख में बेच रहा है.
So it's our
क्योंकि इनोवा भी कितने का है? How much is इनोवा?
Almost a 40 lakh rupee car.
A 40 lakh rupee car you are getting for 10 lakh rupees. That guy is making 100% profit. ठीक है, थोड़ा भागा दौड़ी है, एनओसी के लिए थोड़ा इधर उधर पैसे जाता है, ठीक है, फीस वीस लगता है तो ठीक है, दैट्स ओके. बट देन से समवन इन बॉम्बे, फॉर हिम दैट इज गोल्ड.
Remember that college fee, sir?
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. That these are cars. Cars are no longer those olden days, yeah. They are like belching out smoke. And when have you last seen a car belching out smoke? You will see some, 7-8-year-old diesel only.
Yeah.
Because they've stopped maintenance. Or a 13-14-year-old petrol. धुआं मार रहा है.
So, okay, now again, these numbers that were taken in November, post Diwali last year. Okay.
Which is winter when the stubble burning is happening.
Yeah, okay. So then we get a clear spectrum of what it looks like, where we have vehicle pollution at 13%. Okay. Now, again, remember, this is GRAP4 in place. So BS4 and all is off. We are just talking about transition vehicles. You know something very interesting about BS6 emissions?
No, go ahead.
It is cleaner than the air you breathe.
Exactly my point.
So, even then, how are we getting to 30? Where is this coming from? This 13%?
Arre, this is all ghabla. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
The only problem here is you are not capturing a lot of scenarios which happen on a daily basis.
Okay.
I'll put up visuals here where you can see. This happened a few days back. This we are recording now is April. I'm talking about mid-March. Okay, coming back from home on that flyover. On the left-hand side, Noida, there's a huge vacant plot. Now, actually it started the night before. I was riding back. It was still nice weather, so I was riding back on my motorcycle. And suddenly my eyes started burning. It was like सामने कुछ कोहरा है, मतलब समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Then I rode through it. It was smelling awful. And I said, what the hell is happening? And I rode off. I said, ठीक है, कुछ होगा. Pollution. मेरा बाइक धुआं निकल रहा होगा या something like that. Whatever. Next day morning, I came on the flyover. So I had a bird's eye view. That whole area, which was all junk, they had lit it. For 3 days, that place was burning. Just imagine the people who are staying there. उनका क्या हालत होगा?
Cars are the problem, Rahul. Cars are the problem.
I'm telling you, bro. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, you are talking about clean environment and all. For 3 days, that place was burning, and you are telling me Noida authorities or any other authority has no idea of that was happening. There's a hospital right next to it.
So this is, I think, also the reason why this
Scapegoating.
Yeah, and why
आज अगर तुझे रास्ते पे रोका, तेरा 15 साल पुराना गाड़ी, तू रास्ते में लाल झंडा उठाएगा कि ऑफिस जाएगा? क्या करेगा?
Exactly. I'll have to go to office, no?
So you'll sell your car, na? Whether you
Sell my car if that option is
whatever,
given to me. Whatever. Decide is, yeah.
And this daylight robbery of taking away cars. Dude, when they started doing it, they started taking these cars to police stations. Within no time.
3 days.
Within no time, that car was like a shell. Stereo निकल गया, wheel निकल गया, क्या? कहाँ जा रहा है? I mean, who's going to pay for it? I paid my money for it, right? How dare you take away my personal property?
Exactly.
I am not getting into vintage vehicles. I am not getting into collectible vehicles. I am telling every day.
So this is also why this law has. How many years have we had it in NCR
It's
now?
been like, I don't know. I first started selling off my bikes about 7 years back.
So about a decade we've had this.
And there is no
And
nothing.
At the time, the law was put in place as a pilot project for the rest of the country, right? It's one of the reasons.
I am waiting for the time it happens in Bombay. Those Bawas na out there, Dikras, I'll tell you what they will come and do with their Fiats na. देखो अभी तुम लोग. ये हमारे से नहीं होने वाला.
Cyrus.
Yeah, guys, I'm with you. I'll fly down to Bombay, man. I'll be there with you. I'm telling you. इधर कुछ नहीं होने वाला. हाँ, बोलो.
So yeah, so I think
Just imagine
this
that
is
beautiful shiny Triumph motorcycle being scrapped. You think that guy is going to let you go?
so. I mean, we do have collectors here. In fact, if you remember, there is 1964 Porsche.
Don't say. They will start chasing.
No, it's not in Delhi anymore. It used
Thank
to be a
God.
Delhi registered car, but it went viral recently. spotted in Calcutta. It was bought in Delhi when it was bought, 964. So we're talking about a 70s Porsche.
And Delhi, Calcutta, Bombay, Chennai, all of these places have better AQI than us. All of them are bloody driving two strokes. Mopeds are prevalent in
Two-stroke autos.
Two-stroke autos. How are they cleaner than Delhi? यार तुम मतलब बम्बो करना बंद करो.
Solution बताओ.
भाई solution is कि आप एक तो scrappage को incentivize. First you bring out a scrappage policy. है क्या चीज? Correct?
है आ गया scrappage policy.
किधर दिखा?
लिंक है.
भेजो.
नहीं लिंक है वो खुलता नहीं.
Thank you. I need to read the scrappage policy to comment on it. One. Two. The first thing you do is incentivize scrappage. To make sure that जो बंदा उसको नहीं चाहिए वो उसको जबरदस्ती उसको गाड़ी भेज दे. It will happen. 90% will happen.
Yeah.
Then you have fools like us who will not want to sell their cars. Tax करो. If I can afford the tax, I will pay the tax. नहीं तो मैं अपने घर के अंदर गाड़ी लगा के बैठा है. Simple. मैं तो चला नहीं रहा. मैंने सजा के रखा है गाड़ी. तो चलाने दो. मेरे को रखने दो गाड़ी. रास्ते में पकड़ लिया तो स्क्रैप कर दो. Catch, fine, do whatever you can. Right? Point number 2.
Okay.
CF, certificate of fitness should be brought back. And a properly stringent certificate of fitness. ऐसा नहीं कि गाड़ी कहीं है और fitness certificate आ गया. No. There has to be a video recording. There has to be a live. People, the government has to be answerable to the people.
आज तक लाइसेंस के लिए you don't have a proper system. You are asking for.
तो तूने मेरे को सवाल पूछा. You asked me the question, so I am saying that this is the way. I know it is not going to happen. I have lost all my vehicles. I am devastated. They are like family to me. You know. I mean, tomorrow your dog might go.
True.
Yeah. रोते रहना. क्या करेगा? That is the point I am making. Another question, Dipayan. Electric cars. They're very cool, right?
Yeah.
They're very green, right? They are very green, right?
So you.
एक minute.
So you.
एक minute. I will. No. I am opening the Pandora's box. Where does the electricity come from for electric cars?
Coal.
Wow. Is it really green?
I mean, that's not just us, by the way. Germany.
Is it
US,
really green?
It's away from
Now
your cities.
consider
It's
how much more coal you have to burn if entire Delhi NCR becomes electric.
you can't you.
Can
So
you first supply that kind of electricity?
our grids cannot handle above 3% penetration. Okay.
I
3%.
rest my case, my lord.
No, but the conversation around electric vehicles and their footprint and their impact is hilarious.
So the fun bit is that
Because I'd love you to tell that child in Namibia or wherever digging lithium out of the ground covered in soot that
you are doing better for Delhi NCR.
that lithium is going to be packed, sent halfway across the world, put in a battery, sent another halfway across the world, put in a car, and then sent another halfway across the world to sell to you is green. And once you're done with the electric car, what do you do with the lithium?
वो तो पता नहीं, वो तो तब देखेंगे, वो तब देखा जाएगा. अभी के लिए तो बोल दिया ना, ग्रीन है तो ग्रीन है. और ग्रीन है. I am not saying it's not green, but is
Colored.
it? Well, you can always have a green colored car. I mean, green colored EVM. That's your choice. You can also have a blue. So that's not the point. The point is, यार सोच समझ के बात किया. The general progression should be from petrol, diesel, CNG, which is the easiest way.
Yeah, that
and
is
then
good.
hybrid.
Yeah.
Then the hybrid should come. Why?
But hybrid क्यों नहीं है?
Because उनको लगता है उसमें पेट्रोल डलता है.
नहीं.
और क्या होगा?
नहीं. Hybrid का
पॉलिसी है ना, इसलिए ग्रीन नहीं है.
Hybrid had a great policy. किसी ने इसका abuse किया and government got smart and were like, let's move it back. Because again, the technology is prevalent, it's existing. You can't say that a mild hybrid is a hybrid. You can't say an ISG is a hybrid.
Yeah, no, it's not a hybrid. It's not a hybrid.
A few people benefited from
Of course they did.
that.
Even the
And now
odd even
we've
schemes and all that.
repealed it and we are back in square one. So,
Correct.
I mean, I think transparency on both sides, on the side of the OEM, will make the government trust their inputs
See,
better?
see. Dipayan, I'll tell you what. See, we are looking at the larger picture. Okay. Who doesn't want clean air to breathe? You know, my love towards all the polar bears. That's not the point. The point is, a vehicle can pollute at any stage of its life. Right? आज अगर you buy a brand new motorcycle,
और
BS6,
gasket फट गया,
whatever,
तो
उसका कुछ गड़बड़ किया तूने, पेट्रोल नहीं डाला, घासलेट डाला, कुछ किया, सर्विस नहीं किया, तो वो धुआं मारेगा. वो धुआं मारेगा. So it is mainly on maintenance. And I'll tell you, okay, this is hilarious.
You recently got a 2-stroke vehicle certificate done, right?
Yes. Because it is not 15 years old
Yeah.
and it passed.
What were its figures like? Oh, so it passed by today's standards,
Yeah.
with super stringent standards on
Yeah.
nitrogen,
So whatever
oxygen.
whatever normal it was idling, they did a proper test. Coming back to PUC test, the wonderful world of PUC tests.
Yeah.
10,000
yes. That is a very interesting point to be made.
$10,000 if you don't have a PUC certificate.
Yeah.
Correct?
Can you get one
Yes.
for a BS6 car?
Good question. So I'll first tell you what happened. This is my brand new Hero X Pulse.
No, let's first explain why you can't get one for a BS6 car.
I'll get to that. So I'll tell you the backgrounder to it. So few of my colleagues came back and they said कि sir बहुत fine हो रहा है, तो make a check that all your vehicles are,
Including your gain.
yes, including you in, that you get it checked, like make sure that the papers are there. Or is it 10K fine? यार 10,000 रुपये कौन देना चाहता है यार खाली पॉकेट का. So I started looking at, okay, the dates, okay, this insurance, that pollution, and then I realized that my BS6 X Pulse had just turned 1 year old.
Expired.
Expired. Oh damn. I was traveling or whatever. Came back, got on the bike, went to the PUC center. The guy, one pan chewing guy there, यार इसका PUC कर दो. BS6 है क्या? हाँ, नहीं होगा. So I first thought कि उसका मशीन खराब होगा. ठीक है भाई. There's one more on the other side. चलो उधर चलते हैं.
You did ask him why also.
He was least bothered.
Okay.
So उसका चेहरा देख के होता है ना कि मुझे करना ही नहीं है, क्या झमेला है. तो मैंने बाइक पे बैठा, मैं फिर उधर गया. Was that guy second guy asking me the same, BS6 है क्या? BS6 है. और नहीं होगा. And then I
So
thought
this is where it gets really interesting.
And then I'm like, यार क्या है, मतलब क्या हो गया? नहीं खुला है ना, हाँ चालू है लेकिन BS6 नहीं होगा. And he was like, get out of here. मतलब I'm not interested in investing. And by that time some other vehicles came, so he was least bothered. And now I am in a predicament because I know 500 meters down the road there's a police picket. And sometimes the cops are there with those phones to make sure that you get fined. Right? He's not going to listen to your story or anything. He's going to click a picture and 10,000 रुपये गया.
इसलिए wheelie मारना शुरू करते हैं.
तो मैंने बोला कि नहीं आज तो ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Other side I went. Okay. Some 4-5 kilometers I rode other side. अच्छा उधर एक है. I'll tell you where. Sector 76 के opposite में there's a new pump which has opened. उधर एक PUC.
Yeah, the Hyundai.
हाँ. Before Hyundai. So I went there and खुला था. मैंने बोला चल धल लेते. जाके गया. But asking me the same question. BS6 है क्या? मैंने बोला नहीं. Just for random shit. Random. I was just messing around. I said नहीं BS6 नहीं है, पुरानी गाड़ी है. काफी चमक रही है, हाँ अच्छे से रखता हूँ, कम चलिए, ठीक है. बगा puts the
One
probe
second,
in.
he didn't take your RC.
No, वो तो नंबर डालता है ना.
Okay.
तो before he said anything, I took the probe, fit. मैं कहा आज तो PUC certificate लेके रहूँगा, मतलब there is no way out. So he feeds in the number. And he calls out my name. I said, इसके नाम पे राहुल घोष. हाँ ठीक है, आपके नाम पे OTP आएगा. All this while he is not realizing that it is a BS6 vehicle. I gave him the OTP. He starts the test. And he's scratching his head. And he's like, गाड़ी कितना चला है? 1800 किलोमीटर चला है. 1800 किलोमीटर, हाँ इसीलिए नहीं हो रहा है. आप एक काम कीजिए, उसको जाके भुड़ कीजिए. हमने ये भुड़ क्या होता है? रेविट हार्ट. ठीक है भाई. So I go. I am very, मतलब मेरे को मेरा बाइक का वो ऐसा खाली पकड़ वो भुड़ नहीं करने का है. तो मैं जस्ट हल्का सा उसको थ्रॉटल दिया. Went up to about 3-4,000 RPM. नहीं आ रहा है, वो और दीजिए. मैं कहा क्या चाहता है भाई, घुमा दिया उसको मैंने 1 सेकंड के लिए. आई जस्ट गिव इट अ ब्लिप लाइक प्रॉपर
Went to the red line,
बैक. हाँ हो गया. क्या हुआ भाई? देन ही कम्स, प्रिंट आउट कम्स आउट. ही इज लाइक ये तो BS6 है. तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है तुमको? पोजीशन सर्टिफिकेट मिला ना, तुमको पैसा दे रहा है ना मैं. कुछ गड़बड़ किया तुमने? बोलते नहीं. बोलते इसीलिए तो नहीं आ रहा था. तो ऐसे क्यों नहीं आ रहा था? यही तो सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, कोई जवाब ही नहीं दे रहा है. बोले हमारा मशीन इज नॉट रेडी टू मेजर BS6 व्हीकल्स.
Yes, you know why? Because the levels required for basic numbers to identify that a vehicle has been patched into the checking machine.
So the bottom line is, friends, my BS6 motorcycle, brand new, I had to make it pollute to get a pollution under control certificate.
Yeah.
What kind of rubbish? What is this? I paid $65 also. ले भाई, मेरे 10,000 तो बचे.
Isn't it $100?
No, it's 100 for the cars.
Okay.
तूने तो पता नहीं कब कराया होगा. मेरे को तो कराना पड़ता है हर कुछ दिनों में. That's why I went with the PUC for my 2-stroke moped. I have a 2-stroke XL, which we built very, lovingly as a race moped. Mostly stock exhaust, everything. Yesterday it passed all tests.
So, on one hand of the spectrum, we have a 15-year-old, almost 15-year-old 2-stroke moped
Passing the test.
and we have a brand new X-Pulse on the other end of the spectrum that's such a low polluter that it cannot even calibrate the machine.
The machine can't. The machine is not calibrated to
Take those.
तो पहले उसको ठीक करो ना. 10,000 रुपए का फाइन क्यों कर रहे हो तुम? Who gives you the right to fine me $10,000 when your damn machines are not working?
Or at least like if you go to a center and it's not working, they should give you a
Certificate.
yeah.
एक कुछ तो दो मेरे को.
So a lot of people have said this, that they've gone to a center and the center has actually removed it from the pump and then it has passed from the exhaust and then it has passed.
So basically, Didi, to get a certificate, what do you need? You need a reading. Correct? You just need a reading. तुमने फोटो खींच लिया, फिर तुमने उसको मैटाडोर के एग्जॉस्ट पे डाला कि ट्रक के एग्जॉस्ट पे डाला, कौन देख रहा है? You just touch it and you come back, you will get your pass certificate.
Okay, so let's a little bit now sum up. I know I made you very angry this.
No, I'm not
podcast.
angry. I'm just too fed up of this scrappage policy thing, which is coming.
I mean, at least in the NCR, where we've had it for 7 years, we need a scrappage policy stat that gives us guidelines, clear guidelines as to what we benefit from scrapping the vehicle, what you benefit from us scrapping the vehicle, and a roadmap moving forward for vehicles that will need to be scrapped in the coming years. Encourage us to sell it outside. Figure out a way to make that easy. I mean, these vehicles are usable, they pass pollution tests, and once that is done, I think they should be allowed to apply.
Private vehicles, most importantly, private vehicles are not driven that much. भाई कोई भी गाड़ी तू 15 साल देख ले, वो 1,00,000 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा नहीं चलता है. 1,00,000 किलोमीटर in today's world is nothing.
So you think there should be a kilometer limit rather than a year?
वो तो क्या है, तू लेके जा करोलबाग, वो तेरे को 1,00,000 किलोमीटर का 5,000 कर देगा, उसमें कुछ फर्क तो पड़ने वाला है नहीं. So I am saying do legit stuff. Do tests which are stringent, which you cannot escape if your car fails. That is what I am trying to say. I am not saying you don't do. You do. Definitely you do. आप उसको टेस्ट करो, लेकिन ठीक से टेस्ट करो. करने के लिए it's not something which you have a paper. बस खत्म. हाँ ये लो जी, मेरा बाइक पास. अब वो धुआं मार रहा है नहीं मार रहा है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता किसी.
Correct.
वो दिल से आना चाहिए. I want to clean up. I want to clean up the air. It should come from within. Today, if I see a car belching out black smoke, I make sure that my car is not. That should come from within.
No, but that's it's most things, I think, once you're incentivized to do it, you will do it. Because we are the exception. We are likely to move against the grain.
Definitely.
Let's talk about people, the direction that they move in. If you're incentivized to
And
maintain your vehicle, you will.
And you remember, I spoke to you about that Lal Jhanda wala thing?
Yeah.
Where I said ki whether you will go to office.
Yeah.
You remember, in peak of winter, suddenly one fine morning, they stopped entry of 10-year-old commercial vehicles also into Delhi airport. The entire Punjab Taxi Association blocked the road. वापस लिया कि नहीं? क्यों लिया? क्योंकि वो झंडा लेके बैठा था. तू नहीं बैठेगा.
नहीं बैठ पाएंगे ना.
नहीं
We are
बैठ
not
पाएंगे.
a...
Because that is not your livelihood. Your livelihood is here, talking to people, writing reports. That's what your work is. Their work is that car. That's their office. Today you are asking them not to sit in their office. How is that possible?
Correct.
So I am saying do things. I am all for scrappage policy. It will actually help. A genuinely good scrappage policy will help. But all the surroundings, the peripheries have to be covered, is what I'm saying. You can't just penalize the private car or the private bike or a collector or a mad idiot like me. It doesn't matter. It's a car. As long as it's not polluting, it's good. All right.
So there we have it. I think the scrappage policy needs some direction overall. This is something that we've spoken about a lot, and especially in the NCR, we need clear guidelines. I think that more or less will set the road forward as to how we deal with scrappage policy, how we deal with older vehicles, and the way we approach owning and servicing our vehicles as well changes based on how much it is incentivized. Thank you so much for tuning in to Connecting Rod. This is Didi and Rahul signing off.